this eye trick or eye look. All right, so we're going to start with eye primer. I'm going to do this as fast as I can. Okay, little tiny bit of eye primer. This is what's going to help bring out the color in our eyeshadow and help it to not get all creased up in your lid. And it just helps your makeup last longer. Primer is same thing as a painter. When a painter paints, they prime before they paint, right? So it kind of fills in imperfections, gives a nice, what's the word I'm looking for? A nice foundation to paint on, okay? So we got our eye primer. Make sure that's nice and blended all over the lid. I even go up under here a little because I put a little color under there. I'm going to start with my transition color, which is like a base color, okay? And that way when I go to add different colors, I don't have, lines. It just kind of transitions into highlight, basically, okay? So what did I use? I'm using this light, soft, like a brown. It's called Nimble, all right? And that's the color I'm using for, hold on, let me clean my brush, for the transition color, okay? So that's this, it's like a soft brown, all right? And I'm going to do this above my crease, but below the brow, because I want to leave room to highlight above the brow. I'm sorry, below the brow, but above the transition color. So this is kind of like a base color. All right, so I'm using my blending brush because it's kind of like a puffy brush that doesn't hold a lot of color, because I want the transition color to just be soft, light, nothing too crazy, okay? So the bristles are not super compact, so I'm not getting a lot of color because I basically only want this to be a transition color. So you see how I'm leaving a spot up here for the highlight. And I just kind of blend up towards the brow, but not all the way to the brow, if that makes sense. So that's just like a starting color, a base color. It can be a neutral color, totally up to you. All right, so I just kind of get that. It doesn't have to be like perfect or anything fancy because I'm going to be adding shades, okay? Because I use 4 eyeshadow colors for this eye look. All right, now that was my blending brush. Now I'm going to move over to my fluffy crease brush, which is a little more compact, but it is the fluffy crease brush. So the crease brush is a compact, smaller brush that holds a lot of color. The fluffy crease brush, you see, it's a little more fluffy. It holds a lot of color, but it's not as compact. So with the crease brush, you can literally go exactly where you want that color. I like the fluffy one because it can kind of like blend as you apply. All right, so I'm gonna make sure it's nice and clean. And for my transition color today, I'm using this color Agile, which is one of my favorite colors. All right, and I just want a little bit, and I'm gonna go right into my crease. So below that transition color, right into the crease of your eye. Now, if you're somebody who has a hooded lid, so hooded means basically your lid is covered and you can't really see your eyeshadow. I have a trick that can, help you find where your natural crease is. But basically, in most cases, you just want to take these colors up higher. So when you're hooded, you want to bring your colors up so that you can actually see your colors when, you're just normal, because with a hooded lid, your lid is covered. So you can't see that color. And who wants to spend all that time putting on makeup and then nobody can see it? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So that's why I use a transition color and then also a crease color. And like I said, for hooded lids, you're just going to bring that color a little higher than I would do, because I don't have as much of a hooded lid. Although as I'm aging, it is getting more and more hooded. But so far, you can still see my lid. All right, so I take that fluffy crease brush and I'm right into the crease, okay? And then I'm going to take my smaller compact crease brush, use that same color, Agile, and I just kind of connect it down here below. I'm connecting it to that eyeshadow V out here. All right, and I just go a little bit about to mid-pupil or so, and I just kind of connect that and gives it a little bit of color underneath, and I just kind of blend it, smoke it out a little bit. Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Blending is key, so you want to make sure you have a blending brush in your makeup bag. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of blend that out, blend that Agile up into that transition color, so it's a nice soft transition and there's no harsh lines. So blending is key here, okay? And I'm just blending. As I'm blending, I'm kind of pushing the color up, just blending up so it kind of like fades into nothingness. All right, now on the lid, I'm going to use a shimmery shadow. So I'm going to use my sponge brush, okay? And I'm using this color. It's called Wooded. It's like a shimmery pink. So pretty. See that on the lid? Super pretty color. So when you want to use a sponge brush and you want to pack it on versus brushing it on like I was just doing with the Agile. All right, so I just kind of pack it on the lid. I guess about 3/4 of the lid. Since I have that darker color out here, I just want this on the inner part of the lid. Okay, and then I take my fluffy crease brush one more time, one more little bit of Agile, and just kind of blend it in through here so, you know, it doesn't go too far over this way. Like I want that pink about 3/4, and then I want the crease color, I want it to kind of blend into that crease color, okay? See that? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Blend it out one more time just to be sure we don't have anything harsh going on. All right, and then I'm going to take that same blending brush, clean it up, and then I'm using Optimistic, which is like a white oyster shimmer. Now, you do not have to use a shimmer up here to highlight. You can use a matte color, a light matte color, but you want to give a little bit of highlight up here, even if it's a matte, not a shimmer. It kind of helps open up your eyes, makes them look more awake, more open. Just a little bit of a trick. All right, so I just kind of blend that in above the transition color. All right, and you see I'm using a shimmer, and I can also use that same color to do my highlight, which I did on my nose and on my Cupid's bow. See over here, it gives me that kiss by the sun look. So I literally just go right in here with that same shade, which is called Optimistic, and it just gives a little bit of a shimmer there on above your blush. All right, super cute. You can do it right on your nose, right on the Cupid's bow. All right, and then I take my smaller crease brush, that smaller, more compact one, clean that off, and then I take that same Optimistic, and I put a little bit in this inner corner of the eye. So you see how it brightens it back up in there? Especially when you're using darker colors, you want to brighten it back up here in the little corner of your eye to make your eyes more awake, more bright, okay? All right, so then we are done with eyeshadow. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of liner. If you have a black eyeshadow or like a darker, I could have used this dark kind of like plum color, but you can use eyeshadow as liner as well if you don't like to use, you know, pencil liner. You can literally just use eyeshadow, a darker shade of eyeshadow, to create your liner if you prefer not to use liner. Everybody's different, so just like to mention some options. Okay, so I just take that little bit of liner in through on the bottom. I could do on the top, I could do on the inner water line, but today I'm just kind of keeping it simple. All right, and then I gotta get my mascara out of my girls because it was warming up. All right, and my 4D is, I've had it since May, but if it were new, I would scrape off the extra product so that it's not, because the bristles, they pick up a lot of mascara when you take it out of the tube. Another thing with your mascara is don't pump it. Make sure you're just kind of twisting it. And when you pump it, you're getting air in it, and it'll dry it out faster and gets bacteria in it. And I mean, they do say that you're supposed to rotate out your mascara or get a new mascara, replace your mascara every 3 months because bacteria can grow inside of your tube. And Lord knows we don't want none of that going on. All right, so I kind of focus on the bottom part closest to the lid first, and then I blink and roll my brush to get the tips to give more of that like feathered eye look. As soon as I'm done with this mascara, I am going to make another video on how to create an ombre lip with lipstick and concealer. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So if you don't catch that video, just let me know in a comment that you'd like to learn how to create an ombre lip, and I will make sure that you get it sent to you. All right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, super pretty, super simple, all done.